Get Firefly. I want examples made.
Yes, that might help. But then, if scorching a few idiots was all it took, anyone could rule Gotham.
Thank you for your insight, Miss Falcone. I don't recall summoning you.
I came to see if you had lunch plans tomorrow.
An invitation? After I killed your father's last remaining loyalists? Perhaps you overestimate the pleasure of your company.
Oswald, you may think you have everything, but there is one thing you don't have. The Falcone name. A name that once accounted for all criminal activity in Gotham, as in 100%.
Now you're just rubbing it in.
I propose we have lunch somewhere public. By doing so, you'll show Gotham that you have the support of the Falcone family. And that should be enough to send those outlying criminal elements scurrying back under your umbrella.
Mr. Penn, item number 4 on my to-do list.
Kill Sophia Falcone.
Add a question mark, will you?
Tomorrow it is.
Crystal Reed! Oh my God, Crystal, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, and congratulations this season so far. You are incredible, and you are shaking things up.
I
Like,
know.
I really like it. I really enjoy it. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna dig deep into the show in a second, but first, just how are you doing?
I'm
How's
doing
Crystal?
I'm doing really well. It's weird because I really don't like watching myself. So and all I could do was hear my voice in my head, and I was like, oh God, I can't wait for this to end.
I'm so sorry.
But no, I think it's a common. Maybe it's not.
Yeah,
but
you're totally not the first.
Yeah.
Just for some reason, we literally have surrounded you with screens, and we put you on every single one of them before we've done this.
Yeah.
So my apologies for
But I
that.
wonder, but a lot of people don't like the sound of their own voices as well. I wonder,
Yeah,
and it's a
no,
common
it's the
thing,
worst.
right?
Yeah.
When you hear yourself recording a voicemail message.
Yeah, I don't know.
or
There's some
something.
science behind it. I don't know what it is, but it is the worst thing.
Yeah,
to
because
yourself
what I hear
recording
in
that.
my head when I speak is not what I hear when I hear.
Not
it
even
back.
remotely similar.
No,
no,
not at all.
Not at all. Well, I guess that answers the
We
question.
share
of,
that insecurity. I'm glad.
So that means you don't like to go back and watch your previous work, I guess.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't. I just feel. It makes me feel weird. Like I don't know.
Even,
It's strange.
It is strange. It is strange. So I guess at that point you're truly putting your trust in the hands of the director and the
Yeah.
writers and everybody on the show.
Yes.
And just believing in the crew that you work with, which is
Yeah.
kind of sweet in a way. Like that's pretty much how it should be. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's I become really self-critical, and I think about all the things that all the other previous takes I did, and then I start thinking about which ones. Yeah.
You get two in your head over
Yeah,
it.
it's totally.
And at that point, it's not even acting anymore. You're just like what? You're just like trying to compile too many different things.
know.
Yeah. You break down.
It's like I don't know that I could ever work with a director that I am so passionate about, because I would never be able to watch the movie and enjoy it. You know, because it's just
Such a bittersweet experience.
It's true.
To have that opportunity, but you'll never know what it was like.
never know.
It's kind of great in a way, though, because in your head it'll always be this amazing thing. You'll never.
That's true.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
always just be perfect. Well, I can tell you, as someone who has watched this show and has seen your work before, you're doing a pretty good job so far. So don't worry about that. Let's talk about how did you end up on Gotham? This is so exciting. Season 4, pivotal character. Tell us about the journey that led you here.
So after I was in a show called Teen Wolf, and after I
Never heard of it.
after I left that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I'm always really particular about the projects that I choose, because I want it to mean something to me, and if I don't feel something as an artist, I don't want to do it. So I was really picky about what I wanted to do next, and I'd always wanted to live in New York. So yeah.
We're in New York. You can applaud for that, 100%.
So when the opportunity came up, I think the information that gave me about Sophia was simply that she was the daughter of Carmine Falcone, and she is coming back into Gotham. She's going to be the love interest to Jim, and that she has a darkness.
Yeah.
And that's all. The darkness is like
gotcha.
the favorite adjective of casting directors, I think. For and it should be prepared to play someone who's really messed up.
But that's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's part of it. That's
Yeah.
part of the allure. is the darkness.
It's true. And the scene they gave me to audition with was just to read with was just they made something up and it had nothing to do with what was going on. Interesting. Which is, I think, a lot of times what happens with DC and Marvel stuff because there's so many spoilers.
To kind of lock things down and make sure they don't,
So I did it, and then the role came my way, and then, I had to choose what I wanted to do with this next, because it was a year-long commitment. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the Batman storyline and Gotham, and like I said, I wanted to move to New York, so everything made sense. So it was a no-brainer for me.
Well, let me ask you, what's really exciting about your character is that it's also the first appearance in live action, right? Like the character's only existed in the comics so far, which is fun. I don't think that's an opportunity a lot of people get anymore with comic book characters because so many have been either in animated form or in live action form or whatever. So you get to really invent this character from the ground up, which is also a unique opportunity. Did you go back, do research? Were you excited about that? Like, how did that factor in?
I think there's a little bit of nervousness which comes along with playing someone who has a comic book story, because I don't know, you have expectations from people, and certainly in the realm of comic books, people, you're allowed to use your imagination to create a character, and then I, as an actor, have to step into that and try and live up to it. So that's difficult. But the good news about Sophia is that, I don't know if you've seen her in comic books, but she's there's no way I would ever be able to do that. No. So I had free reign to do whatever I want creatively, which I thought was nice as well. And the producers and the directors and everyone who's involved on that side of things in Gotham have been really nice about letting me have free reign with how I see her.
Color in and how you
which is really, really nice as an actor.
Yeah, for sure. You kind of touched on this in the audition process, in that they gave you, they kind of made something up for you to audition with. Once you're on the other side of the wall, Keys to the Kingdom, do you know everything that's going to happen? Or do they have you work in such a way that you only know so far ahead?
Well, I love to know the story of my character, so I'm constantly asking questions, to the annoyance of our writers, because I'm constantly texting people asking what's going on, because I want to know. I feel like it helps me create a story.
Yeah.
But there was something that I kept asking all season long about Sophia, a specific thing, and they told me something very specific. And then all of a sudden I read episode 11 and everything had changed, and it's a monumental, huge thing. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And so to answer that question, I mean, I am at the complete mercy of whatever they write, and I wonder if they did that so that I, just as a tactic to get me to play a certain thing. Well, I'm not sure.
That's always the tricky part, right? Because if you find out this new bombshell information, I was wondering, as an actor, do you then, if I had known that, I could have played this way, and you start re-examining things and going back. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. When you watch episode 11, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It'll all make sense.
Yeah, that seems to be like a watershed moment. I think Robin Taylor or Lord Taylor was saying in another interview around episode 10, 11 is when things really, there's a moment, something happens. Yeah.
Episode 11 is our mid-season finale, and so it's going to be a big to-do. And Danny Cannon's directing, and so it'll be a big one.
For sure. I think last time we saw you, you and Jim were in a bit of a couch tussle. You were having a moment.
Couch tussle.
If you will. That's an industry term. And I couldn't help but draw a parallel. I know it's not the same thing as Allison, but I couldn't help but draw the parallel of Wolf Hunter and a wolf and up-and-coming crime boss and a detective. And it's and I'm wondering, do you tap into a similar set of tools when you're working with this kind of relationship, this kind of romantic dynamic with somebody?
Do you mean technique-wise as an actor?
Sure, yeah.
I think so. I don't think that they're very similar in nature.
Yeah, I know they're not the same at all. But my weird brain drew a parallel.
Romantically, yes, totally. I think I use the same technique as an actor to create both of them because they're romantic. Yeah. And so those things that I would use for Allison and Scott would be the same for Jim and Sophia. However, Sophia and Jim's relationship is based loosely on romance and more on what they gain from each other with power and with recognition and
the romance always seems to kind of sneak up on them moments after they've had a much bigger conversation.
What does?
The romance.
Oh, it does.
It always sneaks out of nowhere. It's they're talking about something. It's you're never this and this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden it's we're on the couch.
Yes, that's why I said it's less about romance, because when you have a thing with someone where it's physical, and you just all of a sudden you're this is taking over me. Yeah, that's really what the writers wanted from the relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about working with Ben on this because he wrote, I think it was the last episode he
Yeah,
wrote,
he
right?
did.
And he directed one last season as well. And I wonder, coming into the show, he's been on it for 4 seasons now, right? He's writing episodes of it. He gets it. Did he like give you any advice or kind of like welcome you into this show and into the set and talk you through things?
Yeah, he definitely did. He was the first person I had contact with as an actor. We had our first scene together, and he was so lovely and so charming. And I remember specifically the last episode, which he wrote. I have a scene with him in the scene that you're talking about, actually.
the couch tussle.
Yes, the couch tussle. Yeah, romp.
Yeah, it's a romp.
It's
That's what
a
it is.
romp.
That's a better word. I was saying tussle, but it's more of a romp.
Yeah.
On the spectrum of tussle to romp,
Yes.
right over here, romp.
It's funny because the very first episode we see them in, when it's a stunning shot, big huge crane shot over the ocean, and they kiss, and after that was scripted, which we filmed a sex scene with her and Jim, and it was I think it was in the director's cut, and then all of a sudden we watch it and they were like, nope, gone.
Pulled it out.
So anyway, that's just his little side note. But so Ben, I was doing the scene with him that he wrote, and I had that in the back of my mind, and especially because I come from theater, that the words and the language mean so much to me, and I really want to get it right, and that's how we tell our story. That when I was saying his words, I was so nervous, and I remember we cut, and I said, Ben, I really want to get this right for you. They're your words, and he was totally shut it down. He's like, well, you're doing an amazing job, and he's really, really good about that. So I'm grateful that I have him as an acting partner.
Very exciting. Are you guys done filming for this season?
No. We're just starting 11 tomorrow.
Got it. Did he direct any of this? Like, I know he wrote that one, but did you
Yes.
get a chance to work with him as a
No,
director
he's
as well yet?
directing. But he's directing these next coming episodes.
Yeah,
I'm
next
not
coming
sure
up.
which
So
one.
that's
but-
coming up. It's down
Yeah.
the road. Very exciting.
Which I'll be really nervous as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we briefly touched on, I think I just mentioned Robin Lord Taylor a moment ago. He, just as important as Jim is to Sophia in this season, Oswald, of course, is like the other side there. And there's such a fun little cat and mouse kind of dynamic thing going on. Talk about working with him and working in those scenes, because it looks like it's a ton of fun.
It is a
Yeah.
ton of fun. Oh, Robin, it's so brilliant to work with great actors because they really do require you to be a better actor. And the standards rise and you're elevated and suddenly you're creating magic together. And that's all that I can ask for. So he really just, in his performances, he pushes me to ask questions about my character and to be more creative and to take bigger chances. And he's always there for you as an actor. Will never drop the ball on you. And there's a comfort that comes with that. And with that comfort, you are allowed to express yourself in ways you never thought you could. So I love you, Robin. I have so much love for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and his penguin is
Well, yeah,
so,
there's something to be said too, right, about getting to work with someone who's 4 years into working on a character.
true.
Like he's really honed in that penguin character, and I think it is like it's his character now, right? Like I think of the penguin, I think of him, and so that's really cool. I'm glad that he's sort of imparting that wisdom in a very comforting presence. I would hope that.
yeah, and simply by just being himself.
Yeah, just by doing what he does.
Yeah.
What's the overall vibe like on set? Because I think this show does a really good job of striking a tone. So it's not nowhere near the campy Adam West, and it's not as bad as the not so why so serious Nolan. It's like somewhere in between. Or like even in just that one little clip, the way he like throws away add a question mark. Like there's a little bit of humor in some of this stuff. Even when it gets dark, there can be funny moments. Is it a funny vibe on set? Is it a fun vibe? Are people messing around? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we're filming long days, and sometimes the subject matter is, hard, and there's stunts. But oftentimes, I don't remember what scene we were doing the other day, but it was so ridiculous. The world that we were creating, I was like, guys, it just felt like all of the fiction just bubbled up, and I was really seeing what we were filming, how non-real it is, and that you have to laugh at that because it's, at the end of the day, it's Batman, and that's not real. So you have to have a sense of humor.
real to me.
Yeah.
Real, it's not.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean.
You have to extend your sense of imagination, and you have to have fun with that. And then it becomes childlike, and you play, and so the vibe on set has been really fun and light, and not so heavy.
All right, so big takeaways. Keep an eye out for episode number 11.
Yeah.
The show, of course, Thursdays, 8, 7 Central. We're not done yet. We're going to throw it over to audience in a second, but I would be remiss with my remaining time if I didn't ask you about Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
And about being Allison, and about what that experience has been like, because it's not so often that an actor gets a chance to create a character that the show, Allison died a couple of years ago. The show's been over for a year, but that character still resonates so heavily with such a huge audience. I'm wondering what that experience has been like, having that kind of passionate fan base.
I am in complete and utter awe at my fans. And just fans of Teen Wolf, because they're so loyal and kind and really, I don't. They've given me such an amazing platform, and it's something that I'm so lucky that I got to experience. And I'm not sure why. I haven't quite figured out what it has been about Teen Wolf that has garnered such a huge, massive fandom. But I've kind of given up asking the question because it's. I wouldn't think anyone will ever know the formula to the success for that show. It was.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's reached that point of fandom that it's intangible.
It's true.
You don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
there is clearly something that you
Right.
can point to and say, this means something to all of these
Yeah.
people.
And I've witnessed it bring people together in a way that is so beautiful. And I think universally it tells a story of such a beautiful truth. And even though it's grounded in mythology and werewolves and things that are supernatural, something deep at the core connects with people, and I'm so happy that I got to be a part of that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Last Teen Wolf question. You've gone on record saying you're totally down to do some kind of spin-off. You've said that before. You can tell me I'm crazy.
It's so funny. Yeah, so, okay.
Did somebody
So
take
for
one
the record,
sentence and
yes,
yeah,
that is
okay,
exactly
so
what
let's go ahead.
happened.
Let's set the record straight.
For the record, I think I don't remember. I was doing press for Gotham. Yeah. And somebody's like, "Oh, Jeff Davis was saying that he would do a spinoff. What do you think about that?" And I was like, "I would totally. That would be amazing. I think you should do a spinoff. Cool. Bye." And then I left. And then all of a sudden, my mom,
Crystal Reed self-finances Teen Wolf spinoff. It's coming, guys.
my mom and Dylan O'Brien will be in it.
Yeah, exactly. Starring her mom and Dylan.
My mother called me and she was like, "Crystal, are you doing a spinoff for Teen Wolf?" And I was like, "Oh, oy vey." No, I would love, look, I'm never say never, but that's not what I meant by that, so.
Well, I'm happy to have given you an opportunity to shine some
Thank
light
you.
on that story
Yeah.
for us. And at that point, I guess I've killed all the audience questions, huh? We're going to try anyways. We got some mics in the room. First one seems to be right here in the front, I believe. Yeah? Go right ahead.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Gina. I'm
Hi,
such
Gina.
a huge fan of you and Teen
Thanks.
Wolf, and Allison will always be like part of me because I really love her. And my question is, what do you think your intentions are for Sophia?
So what are Sophia's intentions?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. Sophia really just wants the love and acknowledgement from her father. And that's a big deal for her. And I think she will do anything it takes to get that. Anything. And I think that that's something that I can relate to, certainly, because just finding the love from, even whether it's a partner or a coworker or your parents, that's something that, we kind of strive for, even if it's subconscious. So yeah, throughout the season, that's all she wants, is to make her dad proud.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Next
Nice
question is going to be right over here behind.
Hi, Crystal. My name's Alexandra. I didn't know much about Sophia Falcone until you were casted, and I was wondering what drawn you to want to play this character that you didn't know much about, and how do you feel about introducing this character to many?
So it's always a little tricky, and it's always a leap of faith when you sign on to something that you don't know a lot about. But I was really confident in the producers, and I had a lot of creative conversations with them about where she was going and what she wanted to do for this. And they assured me that she was going to be incredibly complex and so intelligent that it's almost debilitating for her. And so that let me be able to do a lot of research on what that means, and different type of character traits and maybe some disorders, and I don't want to give too much away, but what that looks like as a human being. And so, because I really love doing research and finding humanity in my character, so that was a challenge for me, and I really wanted to do it. And also being removed and transplanted to New York was also a challenge that I wanted to kind of live out.
Very cool. I
Thanks.
believe we have. Thank you for your question. I think we have time for one more. It looks like it's going to be right here.
How you doing?
Hi.
My name is Orlando. I'm from New York. Just wanted to say I think you have honor, tradition, and it's great that you're in Gotham. You're living the nightlife there, obviously.
Yeah.
I can see that you're a brilliant actress. What is your future plans? Are you looking to going to like Hollywood, like Johnny Depp did, Christian Bell,
Yeah.
etc.?
First of all, thank you. That's
I love
really
tradition.
kind. Yeah. My plan is to keep. Thank you for saying that about my acting, but I do
welcome.
feel like there's a lot more that I want to learn. So I want to keep studying and keep getting better. I think painters always paint and singers always sing, and so I should always be. Yeah, that's right. You should always be practicing your craft. Actors sometimes think that they should just act, when they get a job. But for me, I love it so much. I really want to keep practicing it. But I also really want to get back on stage. I studied theater in college, yeah. So, and we're in the city for it. So I think that would be really nice, and maybe do something. I think something classical, just because I love language, and it would be such a challenge for me to do something, maybe some Shakespeare or something. And if not, just do something that creatively challenges me and helps me get to the next level.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Well, we could do this all day. Unfortunately, I got to let you go. I want to thank you so much again for taking time to hang out with us. Remind people, Gotham, Thursdays, 8, 7 Central on Fox, but you already knew that, right? One more time, make some noise, please. Crystal Reed, everybody.